Northern Kentucky University and athletes in action tonight at Regents Hall, and a nice crowd turned out to see what was up. Mike Beef was up for one thing. He blocks the shot. Paul Claxton gathers the rebound, takes it down court, dishes up for LaRon Moore. The Norse had it going early on. But AIA had the deep hitters going for them this evening. Among them, Scott Stewart. Check it out. His three, and AIA wins it 74-73.
Busy night in sports.
And you were busy.
Wildcats should win the SEC. Coach Ken Shields is looking for a lot of wins this season at Northern Kentucky. Tonight against athletes in action, Shannon Miner to Andre McClendon. Look at McClendon. He is a moose. Later, it's Jamie Peratt to LaRon Moore. But athletes in action pulls out this exhibition 74-73. At Winton Woods, the field was all decked out for the Division I regional semifinal.
League Cy Young Award today. The talk at lunch today, hoops. In fact, they served hoop du jour. And the main course, well, the Norse, of course. Northern Kentucky basketball is bigger, it's back. And NKU men's coach Kenny Shields and women's coach Nancy Winstell, they held court for the NKU alums and boosters today. The men's team coming off its best season ever, 25-4, and finishing only one win away from going to the Elite Eight. Playing off that will be a tough thing to do now.
We lost a couple key players, but we return a good group of veterans. And if they can stay healthy and happy and hungry, I think we've got a chance to have another super season.
Yeah, the Norse opened their season this weekend at home. Now to our latest Donato star.
The Eastern Kentucky grad should return by month's end. And with the Lions Club Tip-Off Classic this Friday, it's heating up for NKU's Norse. They said as much today at their kickoff luncheon. Ken Shields, defending conference champs, are picked to win it again, while Lady Norse coach Nancy Winstell said that the forecast of a fourth-place finish is a bit of a slight, but figures they'll exact their pound of flesh where it counts on the floor come the season.
That's where it counts. Okay, Denny.
And we'll be right back.
Yeah, they're going to play it Friday night at Beechwood. Getting close to game time at NKU today. You could smell the hoops in the air and the broiled chicken. The annual NKU tip-off luncheon went down today. Season starts this weekend. In the house, NKU men's coach Kenny Shields, who's looking to pick up where he left off last year.
After going 25-4 and having the illustrious season we had, it's just so comforting to know that we have come to a certain point of play that it can make everybody in the greater Cincinnati very happy.
Yeah, Shields lost a couple of starters off that team. 294 strikeouts. This man whiffed 294 batters last season. Randy Johnson, big reason why he's won the American League Cy Young Award.
The defense gives up 100. At Regents Hall, NKU opened their season tonight with a 167 win over Bethel. NKU is in everyone's Division II top 10. And on the ice, the Cyclones out-hammered their team.
Matchup against Bethel, 167 last night. Today they play the Lions Club Classic Championship game against Union College. The Norse were led by LaRon Moore. He scored 24 points and grabbed 11 boards. On the other side of town,
also winners tonight. NKU in basketball, UC women's volleyball, and the Cyclones 3-2.
Not a lot of AstroTurf at the high.
5-100. Also last night, NKU, a winner, 100-67 over Bethel. And that's going to do it for another edition of the Friday Night Blitz. Saturday.
Marks sealed UC's fate with that jumper, 85-82, the final. The Lions Club Classic Championship belongs to its hosts. NKU picking up where they left off a year ago. Shannon Miner leaving the ball behind for LaRon Moore. LaRon finished with 33. Not bad, Ken Shields saying. Shannon filled it up as well. He had 19 to go along with his 11 assists. NKU, a 16-point winner. The first place Cyclones remain
85-82. In Division II, this one counts. NKU hosting Union in the Lions Club Classic. Jamie Peratt would have jumped the passing lane, but he didn't have to. The steal and a nice lay. Later, Shannon Miner driving to the hoop. What a day for the Coleraine kids. Andre McClendon puts it away. NKU wins the Classic 93-77. The NKU ladies also winners today. Bacon's Katie Kelsey with a big game against Indiana University something or other. And in volleyball,
5-82. Ken Shields and his NKU Norse in the finals of the Lions Club Classic versus Union. Oops, Union's Prince Ing Yang throws it right to Jamie Peratt, and he goes coast to coast. No, it's not nail-biting time yet. Peratt, again, he has the rock this time. He gives it up to LaRon Moore. He'll get the hoop and some harm. The Norse the win, 93-82. 92-77. The Clones on the ice with the Knights from
Twice against Pittsburgh. With the Bengals forecast, I'm Ken Brew.
Thanks, Ken. The Norris Brain Trust there. Ken Shields and assistant coach Ryan Schrand in Regents Hall tonight. Shannon Miner, he was a top gun from the outside like Brad Johansson. Buries a 3. He had 19, dished out 11 assists. LaRon Moore had 33. NKU champions in the Lions Club Tip-Off Classic tonight, 93-77. They beat Union. Nancy Winstrel and the NKU women also champions. Katie Kelsey, 10 points, 7 assists in the big win. Congratulations to both the women and the men. The Bearcats of UC lose to Athletes in Action. Silverbacks lose, but Cyclones win.
Okay.
Thanks, Carol.
All right, Rod, thanks. They had a great basketball season last year, and now they're one of the top-ranked teams in their division.
Coming up next in Sports, a live report from John Popovich as the NKU Norse prepare to take on Oakland City tonight.
Fine Sports brought to you by Superior Honda.
DJ's here now with a look at sports and college basketball in particular.
Hoops time.
Indeed, it is underway. In fact, the basketball season is well underway for the Northern Kentucky University Norse. Kenny Shields' guys got it up and running over the weekend in the Lions Club Tip-Off Classic. And they're back on the clock tonight as we hear from sports director John Popovich, who joins us live from Regents Hall. John?
Hi, DJ. It's college basketball tonight at NKU, and a great night for the Norsemen to work up an appetite for that big Thanksgiving dinner. It's NKU against Oakland City. That's tonight, 7:45 here at Regents Hall. And the continued resurgence of this program is the subject of tonight's Nothing But Net. It was a dream season for the Norse of Northern Kentucky. They made it to the tournament. They got people to notice. They got the coach to cut his hair off. There are reasons to believe this year should be more of the same. The coach has his hair back. The team has most of his players back. The question is whether they still have their drive back.
You know, we're good enough to maybe be a national champion, but we're also good enough to fight for 500 if we do not have the proper chemistry within our personnel.
NKU has already run off 2 quick wins this season. They appear to be as talented, with perhaps even more depth.
I think we're playing as a unit, and we're stronger this year. You know, we ain't as thin and getting pushed around as much this year.
We've been picked as high this season as 3 and as low as 9 in the preseason polls.
But those make for nice reading and dreaming. But they're also the kind of things that puts a target on your back.
Teams are coming in here wanting to knock us off. So, last year we got pumped up for the big games. But this year we got teams coming in here wanting to beat us.
It takes talent to get you to the top, but it takes character to keep you there.
Most of these players spent this summer training in Cincinnati, knowing the season will be tougher, and knowing what they accomplished last year wasn't quite enough.
We want to get to the tournament again. We want to get to the Elite 8 in Louisville, and then we want to win a national championship.
The Norse learned a year ago that kind of goal is now within their reach. Right now, there's an alumni game going on at Regents Hall. 7:45 though, NKU against Oakland City. John Popovich live at Regents Hall. Back to you, DJ.
Thank you very much, John. I'd love to watch these guys play. Kenny Shields really has them playing in a cohesive unit, and that place is going to be rocking tonight.
All right, look forward to it. We'll be right back.
4-3 shootout win. Clones now with a 7-point lead over Fort Wayne. They come calling at the Gardens on Friday. Ken Shields and the Northern Kentucky Norse go to 3-0 on the young season at the expense of Oakland City tonight. Jamie Peratt, who had 22 points, great feed behind the back to Reggie Talbert. Well, they did it on defense as well. Watch LaRon Moore and Paul Cluxton on the double team. Cluxton corrals it. No look to Moore. He collects 2 of his 17 as they win 94-58. Elsewhere in the Maui Classic, Wisconsin 104-66 over
half-point favorite. In hoops, Northern Kentucky was going at it. Watch this pass. Jamie Peratt to Reggie Talbert. Reggie throws it down. That leads to intense discussion up in the stands. Later, it's Peratt with the ball again. Now, what's he going to do this time? High off the glass. Jamie leads the Norse with 22. NKU was looking to make it 18 straight wins at home. The defense helps. Paul Cluxton with the save to LaRon Moore. While LaRon slams it, we'll give you the final. The Norse manhandle Oakland City 94-58. How about UCLA? The defending national champs lost
4-3 in a shootout. College basketball this evening, and we're no longer talking exhibition. Ken Shields and Northern kicking it off against Oakland City, showing us why they are so good. They're talking about it, and they do it. The trap, watch them steal the ball. Paul Cluxton then with the save to LaRon Moore. All you can say is, oh my, and more than once, 3 times. Yo, 4 baby. Oh, baby, but can they shoot the rock from the outside? Jamie Peratt says, yes, we can do that. That's why they are one of the best in Division II. Peratt has 22, Moore 17. NKU takes Oakland City 94-58. NIT semis, Georgetown.
Head coach Kenny Shields, his team still perfect this season, and he can thank LaRon Moore for his part. First, the steal, and then Moore goes coast to coast for the flush. 17 for Moore tonight. Shannon Minor didn't do so badly himself. 15 points, and 3 of those are going down the drain here. 6 NKU players find the extra digit tonight. In that mix, Jamie Peratt, 22 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, 94-58 final. NKU 3-0 with their 18th home win in a row. Well, here's one from the How Did We Get Here department. Manute Bol and Daryl Dawkins.
Two faces that are playing for this year's Musketeers. Other scores tonight, Miami of Ohio defeated Eastern Kentucky. Devin Davis scored 30, and they win easily. NKU also a winner tonight over IPFW. Top 25 action, Purdue and Memphis.
To one famous coach today.
And the highly rated NKU Norsemen played at home tonight. Ken Brew with sports. Next.
The hype, NKU is winning, the crowd hip to the hype. The Norse at home tonight against Indiana Southeast, a big night for Paul Cluxton. The young man from Lynchburg Clay committing random acts of hot shooting. Tonight, Cluxton had a career-high 23. His sidekick was Andre McClendon. 21 for McClendon tonight. It made for an easy night for NKU coach Kenny Shields. 19 straight wins at home now, 95-74 final. Cluxton one more time. NKU is 5-0. Nolan Richardson, head coach Arkansas. He meets UC this weekend.
Town by 5. Miami women beat Xavier women by 20. In Regents Hall tonight, a special request for Santa Claus. NKU against Indiana Southeast. Watch this Reggie Talbert patrolling the baseline. He turns away any intruders. Big gun for NKU tonight, Paul Cluxton. He had 23 points. NKU 95-74. Elsewhere in college hoops, second half, Arizona leading Montana. Villanova just gets UC against Wagner. College ball on the road tonight. Northern Kentucky a loser for the first time. LaRon Moore scored 31, but Indianapolis won big. So did number 1 Kansas. Roy Williams and company at Rice, where J.J. Polk can sure jump.
Number 1 Kansas with a win tonight. Number 13 North Carolina, same deal. Wagner wins that second game tonight at the Shoe, so they play UC at 6:30 tomorrow night. NKU losing for the first time tonight. Girls basketball at McCauley. Head coach Mike Leeson, his team's second game of the season. No.
He knows.
We're going to get a little test tonight.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting game. This is one of the powers across the nation, and we don't see many of them in the non-conference preseason type stuff.
And this is a good runner team.
This is a very good runner team. 7-0, looking tough on the inside and outside. Pat Douglas got another group to worry about. As the Cal State non-conference schedule goes, tonight's game is probably one you don't want to miss, with usual suspects like Cal State Stanislaus on the menu. 18th-ranked Northern Kentucky comes into the Activity Center to provide the toughest test of the season. Here's Channel 29's Kelly Carr with a preview.
Cal State gets their first big test of the season tonight when 18th-ranked Northern Kentucky comes to town. A team that went 25-4 last season, including 2 wins over the eventual national champions from Southern Indiana. The Norse are looking forward to this evening's game as a way to check their progress so far this season.
We're playing a premier team in Cal State Bakersfield with tremendous talent and great tradition, and this will be a good yardstick as far as evaluating where we are.
I'm very familiar with them. They got a couple key players on their team and a nice tradition here. But I feel that if we come out and play hard and play together, that good things will happen for us also.
The runners will be trying to extend their win streak to 8, but no, that won't be an easy task.
This will be a real tough game, a lot of intensity, we'll be going up and down the court. They like to fast break, we like to fast break. It's just going to whoever plays defense.
And D will be the key. Both teams are averaging over 90 points a game, an offensive shootout that Pat Douglas says you won't want to miss.
Well, the 49ers have wrapped up the conference there, so most of the time, if it was early in the season, they want to be watching the 49ers, but I'm hoping people will be tired of football for a while and come out and see us play tonight.
Tip-off set for 7:30 at the Activities Center. At Cal State Bakersfield, Kelly Carr, 29 Sports.
All right, thank you, Kelly. Should be a good game tonight. We'll have highlights and interviews of tonight's game between the Runners and the Norse. and tonight at 11 right here on Channel 29.
Steve Talbot is back with more sports. Big night tonight for the runners. Huh?
Yes, there's not a lot of sports going on locally. We are in that holiday glide, but there's a big game tonight in basketball in college. Are the runners a national championship caliber team, or just another good team with hopes of being a national championship team? Perhaps an early season indication tonight at the Activity Center, as the number 5 runners take on the number 18 team from Northern Kentucky. Our Steve Gannon has a look at the potential fireworks.
Oh, hell. Look out, runners. Competition has arrived. They're the Norse of Northern Kentucky, Cal State Bakersfield's first-ranked opponent this season.
We're coming out and playing, I think, one of the top teams in the nation. The runners, they're a team with great tradition and a type of program that anyone would like to emulate.
And speaking of emulating, these two teams do have lots in common. Both like to run the court, and both are averaging over 90 points per game.
I'm very much looking forward to the contest, as is our team, and really should be a strong test as to where we're going to be when we start league.
And the Norse are certainly a team that's in the same league as the runners. Last year, they defeated eventual Division II champ Southern Indiana twice in the regular season.
Last year was a tremendous year. We were 25-4. We were ranked nationally last year and got to the Sweet 16 before the eventual national champion Southern Indiana beat us.
They're going to be the highest ranked team we played this year behind Southern Indiana, and so this is really important to us to come out here with a win.
One thing you can expect tonight, lots of points and a mutual respect for the opposition.
Well, I think it's a good opportunity for us to come out here on the West Coast and try out these teams out here. It's a lot different style of basketball than with back in the East Coast and that. And we think it's going to be good for our program and for this program to play us.
At Cal State Bakersfield, Steve Gannon, 17 Sports.
Now, speaking of basketball, Bill Blair.
Memphis stays unbeaten with a 68-58 win. At NKU, good sign making. This is you, happy face, until you face NKU, frowning face. In the first half, Shannon Miller, nice bounce pass. Reggie Talbert soars and scores. 14 points and 12 boards for him. Moments later, Andy Listerman with a feed. Andre McClendon misses once, but not twice. Nice, he led the way with 21. NKU beats Lewis 80-70. Now time to squeeze the picture and crunch the numbers. The undefeated Bearcats return to action Saturday against McNeese State, and the game
is our first look at this Friday morning commute,
including an important traffic note for I-75 at the Hopple Street exit.
Also hoop action from Northern Kentucky,
and then more special tributes for the late Dean Martin. Family and friends are saying goodbye. Stay with us.
Quick score to tell you about. Texas A&M defeated Michigan last night in the Alamo Bowl 22-20.
Now some of the other local sports headlines. Northern Kentucky defends its home court. Here's George Vogel.
You got to defend your home turf, and Northern Kentucky does that rather well. The Norse are ranked 19th in Division II, and last night they were looking for their 19th straight win at Regents Hall. Coach Ken Shields firing up the Norse against Lewis, but it's Zeke Clerk on the loose. Zeke gives Lewis a 2-point lead in the second half. The Norse can run too. Paul Cluxton doesn't even look. A perfect pass to Shannon Miner. The crowd gets back into it. Later, it's Cluxton with the pass to Andre McClendon. The power move. Tell me about it, big man. He scores 21. The Norse take down Lewis 80-70. Elsewhere, McNeese State coming to play UC Saturday. Last night, McNeese loses to Dayton 86-76. And Temple falls to Memphis. Women's side, Thomas More loses in overtime, and NKU buries Lewis. The feast was on last night at UC. The Lady Cats are getting ready for the state.
My family life is just horrible.
And he's not alone. Some 75 season ticket holders caught throwing snowballs will lose their privileges as well. Northern Kentucky University returns from a long road trip with one thing on its mind.
Victory. Tim Bray has that and more in sports when 12 News Tonight returns.
Good evening to you. Talk to any coach and they'll tell you protect thy turf. Well, Kenny Shields must have used that in his pregame speech tonight at NKU. They've won 19 straight at home. And the NKU banner flying high tonight for the 19th ranked Norse, playing in the conference against Lewis. Ball going baseline right here to Andre McClendon, and he goes and knocks it down. 21 points for McClendon. That led 4 in double digits, including number 43 for Kenny Shields, and that's Reggie Talbert, the senior, with the turnaround post on the right block. 14 points, a dozen boards. The Norris extend their home court winning streak to 20 straight, 80-70 over Lewis. Memphis riding high on a 23-game home streak. Make that 24 now. Tigers on the break. Check out Michael.
First, we check in with DJ, who has a complete look at this morning's sports.
Thank you. Here's your sports capsule. The Northern Kentucky University Norse rolling on. They go to 7-2 on the season with a convincing win over a stubborn Lewis College team last night at Regents Hall. They were out of control at Regents, but Lewis came out of the chute before the Norse did, frankly. Kelly Lynch with a nice layup here to get them on the board early and often, frankly. Paul Cluxton, however, is going to miss the three-pointer, and there's John Gibson with the heads-up follow-up as Northern Kentucky mounted a furious comeback in this one. LaRon Moore, well, he's going to make the easy jumper for 2. NKU wins this one 80-70 over visiting Lewis. Two-time IHL All-Star Dave Tomlinson has company for next month's mid-season showdown.
Says its December same-store sales were up more than 10%.
Checking sports this noon, the Northern Kentucky Norse are ranked 19th in Division II, and last night they were looking for their 19th straight win at Regents Hall. Coach Ken Shields fired the Norse up against Lewis, but it's Zeke Clerk on the loose. Here he gives Lewis a 2-point lead in the second half. However, NKU can run as well. Paul Cluxton with a perfect pass coming up to, there it is, to Shannon Miner. The crowd is happy as the Norse down Lewis 80-70. Other college scores, the NKU women also winners over Lewis 78-41. Ohio Wesleyan women beat Thomas More 82-76 in OT, while Dayton men won by 10 over McNeese State. And Ohio State slipped by Eastern Kentucky in the Cowboy shootout out in Casper, Wyoming, 92-88.
Gave us some juice.
NKU playing host to Wisconsin Parkside, and it isn't she cute, but so is this. The lob to LaRon Moore, who slams it home for 2. But NKU loves the running game. Here is Shannon Miner to Moore for more of the same. The Norses were off to the races, and Miner misses the layup, but Moore gets the putback. NKU prevails over Wisconsin Parkside, 82-68. In men's college basketball, Connecticut over Hartford, Georgia rolls over Jacksonville, Northeastern falls to Duke, Virginia
6. With UC, Xavier, Kentucky, and Miami all in the area, you might think a Division II program would have trouble getting coverage. But NKU is one of the best D2 teams in the country. Coach Ken Shields has his hair back, and darn it, we like the Norse. They've got players like LaRon Moore, who can score from the inside with a sweet turnaround J, and from the outside with the feathery touch. Moore led the Norse with 23. They've also got Shannon Miner, who can dish and did send us a Christmas card. Thank you very much, Shannon. And thank you, Paul Cluxton, who knocks down the 3. Cluxton finished with 20. NKU had 82. Parkside, 68. Tonight in the Bearcat Invitational, Cincinnati beats P 74-61. Doris Scott led them with 21.
As an XU, they win by 19. NKU fans saw their team take on Wisconsin Parkside. LaRon Moore, more than the visitors could handle. 2 of his 22. Teammate Andre McClendon with the mighty drive down the middle. He added 20. Ken Shields Norse, they improved to 8-2 with today's 82-68 win. A plethora of college basketball filled the airwaves today. We can't show you everything, but
Irrevocable now.
In Regents Hall, the Norse cheerleaders working those pom-poms, and Shannon Miner working for a 3. Uncharacteristically, he's going to miss there. Reggie Talbert passed to Cluxton. He's going to lay it in. He had 20 on the night. NKU wins its 21st straight at home, 82-68 over Wisconsin Parksdale. Let's check out the rest of the numbers, please. Georgetown wins big, and so does UConn. Villanova, no problem either. And Texas squeaking out one over North Carolina by 2 points. Georgia, a big win.
The 3
to push their lead to 55-34. 81-53 was the final. LaRon Moore's 1,000th career point paces NKU past Oakland City tonight, 91-59. Elsewhere, the Cincinnati State Tigers are 8-6 on the strength of a 190 win over Edison College. Number one.
Rolls, Ohio State 81-53. There's more for you on the board from the college and high school scene.
Iowa showing a little zone pressure this time in the half court.
Are 83-70. The Skins now 10-2, 2-2 in the MAC. Former Colerain prep Shannon Miner had a major day for NKU. Miner dropped in 26 points to lead the Norse past Bellarmine. He also got the job done down low. Miner with 2 more and another for 3. He also dished out 6 assists. NKU moves to 11-3 with the 84-71 win. We check scores and you see Miami beaten by Georgetown.
Head coach Ken Shields and NKU home this afternoon against Bellarmine. First half, LaRon Moore from the corner, money. He had 12 points before fouling out. The Norse dominated the glass, out-rebounding Bellarmine 34-21. Reggie Talbert with a putback. He had 12 points and 8 boards. The big star, Colerain product Shannon Miner, 26 points. That was one of his 6 assists. NKU wins at 84-71. In other games of local interest, Louisville got hammered at St. John's, the Cards going 8 minutes without a bucket. Defiance over Thomas More by 15. In women's action, St. Joe snapped Xavier's 6-game winning streak. Bellarmine nipped NKU, and UC rebounded from a tough loss to Xavier to beat St. Louis. Normally, when you think famous recipe chicken, you think of a delicious, healthy meal.
Over Akron, they are now 10-2. Ken Shields Norse playing their afternoon attraction at Regents Hall. Shannon Miner, a major factor in today's win. The no-look to Reggie Talbert, who followed through. At the other end, the guys in yellow were very stingy. They forced the turnover, start the break, then score the bucket. Miner finished with 22, NKU an 84-71 winner. We are immersed.
10 wins now for Miami. They're 2-2 in the Mid-American Conference as they win at Akron. Now at NKU, Coach Kenny Shields loving what he saw today from the troops. Shannon Miner playing the role as the bad hostess, and he had his fingers on the trigger all day. He takes it to the rack here. S. Miner ended up with 26 on the day. Shannon was serving up some dishes as well. On the alley-oop to LaRon Moore with a gobble up of the mojo and gingerly laying it in. Thank you very much. Norris make it 22 in a row at home. 84-71 the win over the Knights this afternoon. And here come the numbers for you now. Georgetown, number 5, wins, and so does 8th-ranked
at 11. For NKU, the season is now hit full tilt, and the Norse are looking to make another run at that Division II regional title. Today, Bellarmine paid a little visit, and Colerain grad Shannon Miner got hot. I mean, this guy was in what we call the zone. Watch, Greg, you'll know what it's like. From the outside, then to the inside. Miner was a major pain for the boys from Bellarmine. He scores 26, dishes out 6 assists. NKU makes it as easy as ABC, 84-71. The Norse now 11-3. Elsewhere in college hoops, the Miami Red
on a milestone of their own. Tonight, they went after their 23rd consecutive win at home. The fans at Regents Hall are getting into the streak. They can get into this too. Shannon Miner to LaRon Moore. Hello. Hello to you too. Later, it's Moore to Miner, then back to Moore, and he does it again. So does Northern. They make it 23 straight at home, dropping St. Joseph's 83-60. On the scoreboard, Arkansas trailing number 9.
Second, Arizona with a win tonight. Also locally, Thomas More and NKU are winners. The NKU women winning today as well. One of the best parties of the winter.
Is certainly our most improved player and may well be is one of our most valuable players.
Northern Kentucky on the boards tonight. They go against St. Joseph, Indiana. They beat them 83-60. It's a 23rd straight home win for Northern. Ken Shields got them going again. And one of the best coaches in the entire area going for a historical mark tonight.
Kentucky was on the clock tonight. They welcomed St. Joseph's to Regents Hall, and the ever-hospitable Ken Shields was presiding as usual. The Norse, Jamie Peratt, followed his directions, and by golly, they work. He tries to drive, kicks out to Paul Cluxton. He hits the long jumper. Shannon Miner was the next to take advantage of the man. He goes down court to Cluxton in the corner. He drains another three to lead all scorers with 17. They win their 23rd straight home game, 83-60. The Dayton Flyers flirted with a major upset tonight.
Weekend, but in sports, but it really isn't. Northern Kentucky basketball.
You got basketball all over the place. There are a lot of good teams around this area, and this is one of them.
Yeah, they're doing really well at home, too.
23 in a row at home, Northern Kentucky. The neat thing about Northern is all the local guys on the roster. The Norse have struck gold with most of the locals, guys like Shannon Miner. Even though he doesn't start, he's a big part of this success story. Solomon Wilcox digs up the gold on this one.
Team first, number 12, Shannon Miner.
When NKU's Shannon Miner comes off the bench, he becomes the spark that lights the flame. All season long, Shannon has been red hot, shooting an incredible 40% from three-point range, and he has no problems accepting his new role.
Right now, I'm coming off the bench and I'm trying just to play my role. Coach asked me to do that, and I've accepted that role.
Shannon, who was a star at Coleraine, has scored big coming off the bench for the Norse. He has now become a strategic weapon for Coach Shields.
What happens is the other team, I think, they're in the middle making their adjustments. Some of their people are getting a little bit tired, and I think his quickness and leadership ability really takes effect there and just helps us be a better basketball team in the process.
I feel that, I can penetrate and I can shoot, and I think if you have both things, that really helps. They can't just guard you one way. So when my shot's not hitting, I try to drive and dish it off and get other people involved.
Shannon has made anything but a minor contribution towards the success his team has experienced this year. And as they make a bid to return to their version of the Elite Eight, everyone expects Miner to continue to play a major role.
I have to get the ball to who's hitting the baskets at the right time, and that's what I try to do, mold the team together and bring us into one and try to get to where we were last year.
Shannon not only has quickness and penetrating ability and dishing ability, but he can shoot the ball very, very well.
For Shannon, starting the game isn't as important as how he finishes. And since accepting his new role, he and his team have finished as winners. Solomon Wilcox, Cincinnati's News 5 Sports.
Looks like he has as much fun throwing those alley-oops as the guy does throwing them down.
He's very talented.
Yeah, coming up at 6, a lot of people wondering about Danny Fortson. He's been playing so well.
College basketball, and lots of it, and some very interesting games today.
Yeah. Good games, good upsets, local and on the national scale. A full day followed by a full night of college basketball. Every local team has or will play today except UC. All started this afternoon over at Regents Hall at NKU, where the Norse love to play. LaRon Moore with 20 points, and watch this big rejection. The Norse seeking their 13th win. The pass inside, Andre McClendon. He fights his way inside for a couple. Later on, Jamie Peratt, a rainbow three. That's good. The Norse win today, 78-70. Meanwhile, the Miami Redskins in action today.
Are teaching kids karate to help kick in their self-esteem. That story is just ahead.
But first, can NKU continue its winning ways? We'll have the answer. Sports coming up next.
Here's Walt Mayer with this weekend's scores and highlights.
Kenny Shields diagramming the plays for his Norse. Off the steal, Shannon Miner takes the pass, lobs it off the glass for LaRon Moore, and he slams it. Shields called that play? I don't believe it. Moore with 20. Reggie Talbot inside, spinning, and he jams. This was Jam City in Regents. 24 straight wins in Regents Hall. The Norse over Indiana, Purdue, Fort Wayne, 78-70. They beat 3 teams today, Brett. How about that? Miami of Ohio, they won today. They beat Central Michigan 88.
Miami now 4-2 in the MAC. Regents Hall at NKU filled to the brim. The home folks saw another fine exhibition from the Norse. Indiana, Purdue, Fort Wayne in town. Andre McClendon gives a little something to talk about. Then it's Jamie Peratt. The pass ahead to Paul Cluxton. Does it get any easier than that? I don't think so. Reggie Talbot does his thing down low. NKU wins again at home, 78-70. To the scoreboard where UMass escapes Duquesne.
Points in that game. 88-72 is your final. At Regents Hall, off the steal, NKU's Shannon Miner with a major takes the pass, lobs it off the glass for LaRon Moore, and he slams. Moore led the Norse with 20. You know, they say, hey, Kentucky's not the only team in the Commonwealth. Inside there, nasty, and a good spin move. And it was Jam City in Regents Hall. 24 straight wins today. The Norse over Indiana, Purdue, Fort Wayne, 78-70. NKU is hot. To the board, we're going to go now for the scores. UMass a big
time, 59-55. Now, other scores of interest on the squeeze.
He's got the great stroke from the outside. Evers with 8. Probably saying, I want to see somebody can show me they can make the jump shot because North Carolina's not doing anything. An explosion underneath. Did I say he was about ready to break out?
Tomorrow night, the UC Bearcats look.
Connecticut hangs on against Pittsburgh by 6. Here's another upset. Marquette falls to North Carolina Charlotte by 10. Elsewhere, closer to home, NKU over Quincy, 85-73, actually on the road. Sullivan College fells Cincinnati State.
And Poppy winning today's 4th race at Turfway. The Super Bowl kicks off at 6:10.
Returns. UMass stays #1 easy. Penn State's for real. They roll over Indiana. Louisville, the upset of UCLA. Purdue beats the Buckeyes. Lewis over NKU. Ohio U knocks off Central Michigan. Thomas More a winner. And in women's play, Mount St. Joe by 4.
Last night, UC and Xavier had the stage. Tonight, it's NKU's turn. The Norse back home against Kentucky Wesleyan. Ken Shields' team sitting at 14-4. And today is National Girls and Women's Sports Day. About 250 female athletes braved.
In college hoops, UC, Xavier, Miami, Kentucky, all off tonight, but we still have a game to talk about. One of the original Norsemen on hand, checking out Northern Kentucky. The Norse hosting Kentucky Wesleyan. Shannon Miner is going to lob it. LaRon Moore throws it down. NKU has some guys that can get up. Here comes another lob from Miner. Reggie Talbert slams this one home. Now it's time to go to work from the outside. Paul Cluxton hits for 20. NKU wins at 81-79. That's 25 straight wins at home for the Norse. Women's side, Northern Kentucky by 1. Mount St. Joe wins by 10. Joe wins by 10. High school.
Tonight. He's just beside himself, you know, because the best in the business in Division II basketball in recent years, the Kentucky Wesleyan Panthers came calling on Highland Heights tonight and the Northern Kentucky Norse. Ken Shields' guys facing off against the 6-time national champions, and they swapped shots back and forth all game. Andy Listerman with a 3 for the home team, bound to improve on its 14-4 record. Peter Van Altena wasn't going to let that happen all that easily. Norse smashed Shannon Miner, 3 of his own over the top of his defender. Wesleyan's Jeff Croman out of Independence from the other corner. Poise pays off, though. Cluxton, the drive, the dish, the deuce for LaRon Moore. The Norse home winning streak alive at 25 after the 81-79 win over Kentucky Wesleyan. Next time we see top-rated UMass will be Sunday against...
Fired today. So were a couple of his assistants. Big house. Crazy house at NKU tonight. The streak's at 25 wins in a row at home. Tonight, Kentucky Wesleyan goes down. LaRon Moore, 22 points, 13 rebounds. Paul Cluxton at 20 before an elbow to the nose sent him to the bench. And S. Miner with a major league shot here. 81-79 final. NKU is now 15-4. They're coming to town Sunday. KU plays tonight. The Norse at home. It's a 7:45 tip against Kentucky Wesleyan. NKU is 14-4 and unbeaten in the last 24 games on campus. Well, it's National Girls and Women's Sports Day. The purpose, the focus.
They are,
Sorry,
but...
Aaron. Goodness gracious, but still good news nonetheless.
Xavier is gearing up for a game with the nation's #1 team. Our Walt Mayer has that story.
And NKU takes on Division II's reigning champs with the major win streak on the line. It's a buzzer beater. Next in sports.
Here's Walt Mayer with your latest scores and highlights.
Big basketball game at Regents Hall tonight. They were crammed in there just like sardines. Record crowd. Southern Indiana defending national champs in town. Look at this. Great night for basketball. First half action. LaRon Moore takes the outlet, and he's going to take it to the hoop with authority. Mr. Moore is. He had 21. And Colerain prepster Shannon Miner looking for some daylight. Finds it. He scores. Miner with 10. But Southern Indiana prevailing 103-102. They lose on a 30-footer by Camel at the buzzer. Oh, mercy. What a game. Lon Kruger, he's leading his Florida gang against #2 Kentucky in Rupp Arena.
This weekend, the Muskies welcome another top 20 team, Virginia Tech, to the Gardens next weekend. NKU in action tonight. Good to see Leif Erickson in attendance. The opponent, Kentucky Wesleyan, not ready for the alley-oop. Shannon Minor to LaRon Moore. He had 22. That was beautifully done. How about an instant replay? Wait, it's a different finisher. Reggie Talbert this time. Minor with 10 assists as NKU wins its 25th straight at home, 81-79. Prior to the men's game, the NKU women in action. I don't know about you, but I love to see a long three-pointer. What a coincidence. Heather Mercer hit one for Kentucky Wesleyan, but nothing says NKU can't do that too. Shannon Roddy with a Trey Bien. The Norse pulls out a thriller, 58-57. In high school ball, the boys get most of the publicity in the tri-state. So tonight,
I answer my own phone. George Clooney? Oh yeah, I've known George for years. Yes, he went to Northern Kentucky University. In fact, I'm calling him after the show tonight because he wanted to know what NKU had done this evening. And he's darn proud of those Norse as well, man. And we'll have the rest of the night in sports for you as well. So don't move a muscle, okay? Thank you. Thank you for calling. Good night.
What did you do with the money you saved at CarX?
He had good news for George tonight.
He's just beside himself, you know, because the best in the business in Division II basketball in recent years, the Kentucky Wesleyan Panthers came calling on Highland Heights tonight and the Northern Kentucky Norse. Ken Shields' guys facing off against the six-time national champions, and they swapped shots back and forth all game. Andy Listerman with a three for the home team, bound to improve on its 14-4 record. Peter Van Altena wasn't going to let that happen all that easily. Norse man Shannon Minor, three of his own over the top of his defender. Wesleyan's Jeff Croman out of Independence from the other corner. Poise pays off though. Cluxton, the drive, the dish, the deuce for LaRon Moore. The Norse home winning streak alive at 25 after the 81-79 win over Kentucky Wesleyan. Next time we see top-rated UMass
with a 76-61 win. NKU hosted powerful Southern Indiana, coached by the feisty Bruce Pearl. To the highlights, Kevin Listerman with a penetration and the dish to Reggie Talbert, who jams. NKU fans were delighted. Later, it's Shannon Minor with a drive and the scoop to the hoop. NKU is winning 96-82 with about 2 minutes to go. In other games of interest, Michigan won at Ohio State. Louisville leads Memphis by 3 in the first half, and Thomas More beat Bluffton by 11. The Xavier women home today.
Plus, NKU was hosting the defending Division II champions. Find out if they could reign in a victory. Scores and more straight ahead.
It's big. Southern Indiana at NKU. Southern coach Bruce Pearl can't believe what he's seeing. The Norse taking it to the defending national champs. LaRon Moore taking it to the hoop with authority. At the other end, Stan Gouard will get the hoop for Southern. This one went down to the wire. Here goes Kevin Listerman inside, the pump fake. The shot will go, but in the end, Southern gets the win. It was a barn burner, 103-102 your final. Connecticut has won 20 in a row.
Walt Mayer has that story.
And NKU takes on Division II's reigning champs with the major win streak on the line. It's a buzzer beater. Next in sports.
WKRZ. Here's Walt Mayer with your latest scores and highlights.
Big basketball game at Regents Hall tonight. They were crammed in there just like sardines. Record crowd. Southern Indiana defending national champs in town. Look at this. Great night for basketball. First half action. LaRon Moore takes the outlet, and he's going to take it to the hoop with authority. Mr. Moore is. He had 21. And Colerain prepster Shannon Minor looking for some daylight. Finds it. He scores. Minor with 10. But Southern Indiana prevailing 103-102. They lose on a 30-footer by Camel at the buzzer. Oh, mercy. What a game.
Well, there's
Lon Kruger. He's leading his Florida gang against number 2 Kentucky in Rupp Arena. Cats looking for 17 straight. They've got all the weapons. Tony Delk was taking it to the hoop. Could be player of the year. He could be.
Only the 7th player in the game's history to have over 3,000 hits and over 400 homers. That says it all. College ball tonight. We check in on NKU, Ken Shields, and the Norse. They are up for them at Northern. Indianapolis in the house, daring Indy. Right before half, Daniel Johnson and Terry McBride. Zingo from half court. Ken Shields worries about that sort of thing, but the Norse get it going. Andy Listerman to LaRon Moore. He's rejected, but does he quit? No. After it again. The fan's wondering if there might have been a foul, but the fan can relax because you got this kind of thing. Listerman to Paul Cluxton, drives for the deuce. He has 19. NKU wins 70-67. Other scores for you on the squeeze.
Against that provision. Now for some hoops. Northern Kentucky's 25-game winning streak at home came to an end over the weekend. Tonight, the Norse were looking to crank up a new streak. Coach Ken Shields looking for a little revenge. The Norse lost to Indianapolis earlier in the season. LaRon Moore whips it to Andy Listerman. The man out of Covcath gets the deuce. Northern finds some room outside, too. Paul Cluxton with the rebound, pulls it out behind the three-point line. He drains it. Northern beats Indy by 3, 70-67. The Norse are now 16-5. Elsewhere, Memphis wins by 13 to
Memphis with a win over UNC Charlotte. Regents Hall, NKU campus, little bit of an upset here. Indianapolis rolled in 15th in the nation, but NKU's Paul Cluxton lit it up. 19 for Cluxton, put that with 5 assists and 5 rebounds. He's also a setup man to LaRon Moore. 13 for Moore tonight, 70-67 final. NKU goes to 16-5. This is always an electric game. Seton and Mercy fans tonight at Elder High, another strong game.
They'll play at Fordham on Saturday. Their 20-game home win streak snapped last week. The NKU Norse determined to forge another run, and the Norse spirit will help it happen. Paul Cluxton bounced pass to LaRon Moore. Nice turnaround jumper as the Norse took control early in this ball game. Short-lived, however. Kevin Listerman's going to find brother Randy wide open. They team up for 2. Now check this. It's a loose ball. Get on it, guy. Shannon Miner picks it up, heads for the hole, but drops off for Andy Listerman. And it's North 70-67 in a squeaker. Conference USA action tonight. Tulane at Louisville visiting the dapper Denny Crum. The Cardinals' Alvin Sims the steal. He goes down with the one-hand jam just before the half. Tulane gets...
Never did that in college, though.
No, not me either. Hamilton County is...
Stop at Wisconsin Parkside tonight. The Norse are 16-5 overall, 10-4 in the league going in. Next up at St. Joseph's Saturday.
South, Thomas More a winner. NKU wins. Shannon Miner, a school record 9 3-pointers. Women's hoop.
In the second half, Louisville leads UNC Charlotte 63-57. Elsewhere, Shannon Miner, 9 threes on the way to 35 points. Northern Kentucky all over Wisconsin Parkside, 94-60. Thomas More
with the lead. Wake Forest has beaten Maryland late second half. Louisville with the lead. Locally, NKU and Thomas More were winners tonight as well. Girls high school basketball tonight, the playoff.
Akron, Illinois, they send the Buckeyes away.
Struggled some lately. The Bearcats are favored by 11. Colerain grad Shannon Miner has flat been lighting it up lately at NKU. For that reason, number 12 is the Great Lakes Valley Conference Player of the Week. Miner hit a school record 9 3-pointers last Thursday. He had a career-high 35 points. Shannon and the rest of the Norse are bearing down on another bid to the NCAA Division II tournament. And Charlie Finley passed away.
They send the Buckeyes away with a loss, and NKU 3 better than St. Joseph, Indiana on the road.
Georgetown beats Memphis. Illinois over Ohio State. OU beats Akron. Miami of Ohio, a winner tonight over Central Michigan. NKU by 3 over St. Joe's. High school basketball.
Nava wins today, too. Other scores. Kansas is a winner, and Purdue gets by Penn State. Arizona wins. Georgetown is a winner. North Carolina is a winner. And we have UCLA winning, and NKU gets by St. Joseph's 67-64. This automobile you're going to see coming up here flipping over a high...
Coached, out-managed, out everything. We just didn't get it done.
Pretty straightforward stuff. Meanwhile, on the boards tonight, Northern Kentucky and SIU Edwardsville. The Norse come up on the good side, 96-73. Paul Cluxton with a career-high 29, 8 of 12 from Freeland. Norse 19-5 now and 13-4 in the league. In the Reds camp, yes, it's
attitude about defense. Our attitude about teamwork. It's attitude.
UC's third loss of the season. Elsewhere, Northern Kentucky a winner by 23 points. Ohio Boys High School.
What tonight? At NKU, the Norse trolling for their 19th of the season. Kevin Listerman gets the party rolling. Here off the heist, he's going to find LaRon Moore. Need we say more? 22 for LaRon tonight. Paul Cluxton, career-high 29. And Shannon Miner with a little tray action here. 96-73 final. NKU with the win. High school playoffs D1 game at Winton Woods tonight.
At Regents Hall, Ken Shields wanted to win his last home game of the year, and his Norse looked good early. LaRon Moore to Paul Cluxton to Chuck Perry, he laid it in, plus the foul. Then Shannon Miner, he hits the three, the Norse led by 8. Andre McClendon threw the baseball pass to Miner, who alley-ooped it to LaRon Moore. The Norse win 96-84. We skip on over to Shoemaker Center for Heated Up.
Yes, that's starting at noon tomorrow. It's UC and Tulane here on Channel 9. Ken Shields' NKU Norse closed out the home portion of their schedule this afternoon against Quincy, and they did it in style, dissecting the visitors 96-84. Loved those Norse, Paul. LaRon Moore, who had 23 to lead all scores, passes inside to Chuck Perry for the lay-in. Then follow the trail of this rainbow from Shannon Miner. He finishes with 20 points. We also got the assist of the game to LaRon Moore on the break. All Norse all the way. They are 29-5 overall, 14-4 in the league after the 96-84 romp. 20-5 overall make that. Quincy's women fall to NKU Norse ladies 76-66.
8 in the league. More for you. Other scores on the board.
.79. Meanwhile, in the Big Ten, Purdue's a winner over Minnesota, 67-61. What a great coaching job.
84-78 with the victory. Let's go up to Dayton Nutter Center. Number 22, Wisconsin Green Bay in action, and it's the Phoenix Jeff Norgard who hits the baseline jumper. But Detroit wouldn't quit in this MCC matchup. Iapano Montgomery drills the three down the stretch, and the Titans pull this one out. The final, the upset, 56-50 over the 22nd ranked Phoenix. Now to the scoreboard, and another team that saw the NCAA dream fulfilled today. Western Carolina became the 6th school to qualify for the tournament. 69-60 win over Davidson. For the Catamounts, it's their first ever NCAA bid. And now we got some more here as you got more scores. Arizona wins, and so does Georgia Tech. Also on the scoreboard today, it was California with the upset, and Boston College squeaks one out. Also, Oklahoma State and Illinois post victories this afternoon in college basketball. At NKU, the Norse of Kenny Shields gathered around to see who will play in the NCAA Division II tournament. And when the word came down, the place just simply erupted. Number 2 seed and a first-round bye at Evansville for NKU.
We've got some fine athletes and a great staff, and we play a tremendous schedule, and we deserve to be where we are.
Enough basketball now. Let's go.
Nothing brings you closer to the game. Nothing brings you closer to the coaches. Nothing gives college basketball fans more. Tuesdays and Wednesdays on 9 News at 5:30. Watch Nothing But Net. DJ, Popo, and D go one-on-one with the top coaches in the Tri-State. You'll get player news, coaching perspective, and team strategies with Nothing But Net. Tuesdays and Wednesdays at 5:30. Sponsored by Kroger, Greater Cincinnati Toyota Dealers, and Channel 9.
This was the scene over on the NKU campus early this evening when the Norse got their bid to the NCAA Division II tournament. They draw a bye and meet the winner of the Oakland City Northern State game. This is the 2nd straight year the Norse have gotten a bid.
2 years in a row, and I think, we're starting to get used to it. It's kind of nice, and we've got some fine athletes and a great staff, and we play a tremendous schedule, and we deserve to be where we are.
Ken Shields of NKU, we wish them the best as they had to play their opening games in Evansville. And we're talking basketball tonight as Xavier, UC, Kentucky, Miami all begin conference tournament action. And we have Ralph Lee, Scott Drought, and coming back, Terry Nelson. Apparently the UCats thought that they weren't getting a fair shake here, so they made sure that they got him back on the show. Tournament play against Fordham. That's on Wednesday afternoon. Meanwhile, this is the look of a team waiting for an invitation to a postseason tournament. This was the scene early this evening at NKU where the Norse were watching via satellite the tournament draw for the NCAA Division II tournament. Finally, about a half hour into the show, NKU finally saw its name called, setting off quite a bit of excitement among the players and fans who had come over to watch. And this is what they saw. The Norse go to Evansville for the first round. They get a bye, then we'll meet the winner of the Oakland City Northern State game. This is the 2nd year in a row NKU has earned a spot in the field.
Last year we were just happy to be there, and I think this year we're going more of a resolve. We want to win it, and if people took it, I think we're just want to get it done this year. Last year we were just happy to be there. I mean, and I think we want to win a national championship this year, and I think a lot of guys are confident that we can do it.
Their game is Friday in Evansville. On the college rankings front tonight from USA Today CNN, the UC Bearcats have fallen
of 64. And they are celebrating another trip to the Division II National Tournament at NKU tonight. For the second year in a row, the Norse are postseason bound. They were on the edge of their seats at 6:15 tonight when the announcement was made. NKU, the number 2 seed in their region, they will open up play Friday night at Evansville. As you can see, well, they may be headed back, but it's getting to be old stuff.
Now that we got our number 2 seed, we felt like the justice was served because of our strength of schedule. We play a lot of top 25 teams in the nation. We feel like we should be this number 2 seed.
We won there last year. We're the only conference team to beat them there in the last 4 years. So we're glad we're in the show, and we're glad with our seed. And now it's time to go to work and get the job done.
Congratulations to the Norse. In baseball news, Reds really probably hold a 2 seed of their own in the tournament, depending on what they do in Conference USA. They should be a number 1 or 2 seed. We shall wait and see. Elsewhere in college hoops, the Division II basketball pairings were announced this evening, and Ken Shields and his Northern Kentucky squad checking out the pairings on TV. This was their reaction when they learned they had been named a number 2 seed.
Number 5. I think we have more experience. Last year we were just happy to be here, and there was a lot of things about being the national champion last year, but I think a lot of guys were just happy to be there. And this year we know what it takes to get to Elite 8 and hopefully to go to be a national champion.
We were really hoping to get the bye and get the 2nd seed. I felt like we deserved it based on the schedule that we play and the conference that we're in.
NKU will play the winner of Northern State, Oakland, Friday night at 6:30 at Evansville, Indiana. In the pay for play of the NBA, the 2-time defending champion Houston Rockets are starting.
It was a powerhouse last year. But that's the interesting stat of the caller in terms of the wins and losses in the conference. It's interesting.
Chris from Highland Heights. Hi, Chris.
How are you doing this evening?
Okay. Good.
This is for Scott. How do you think NKU will handle Northern State, who will probably come out of that first-round game being an NAIA Division I transfer into the Great Lakes?
I think that they should fare well. I think Northern's playing some good basketball, and they're of course very well coached. And I wish Northern nothing but the best. I was surprised to see them get a bye the first round. Looking on the TV tonight, they were kind of surprised that they even got in, somewhat so to speak, because they were certainly elated once they got the bid. But then they have the bid and also have the bye. It means that there probably wasn't too much suspicion on the selection committee in terms of them getting into the tournament. I think they'll fare well.
Well, last year it was such a big deal that they finally made it to the tournament. I know those guys were excited and everything like that, so you have to think this year they get down to business a little bit. Most of them have been there for now the 2nd year.
Yeah, and that certainly will do nothing but help their program.
Let's go to Kyle from Anderson Township. Hi, Kyle.
How you guys doing?
Okay.